Hi, I'm Vincent, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can export your LinkedIn contacts in a CSV file. So I will show you the three options you have to export your LinkedIn contacts, how to get a clean data. So for example, you don't want to have a rocket emoji in the first name of your leads. And finally, how to get the emails of your LinkedIn contacts. So you see, we have a lot to cover, so let's start. All right, so the first option you have is to go on LinkedIn. Then you click here on Me, then Settings and Privacy. Here on the left, you click on Data Privacy, Download your data, and here you click on Download larger data, like this, and then we click on this button. And now I just need to wait a little bit and I will receive an email from LinkedIn. All right, so after a few minutes, I finally have my link. So if you want to download everything related to LinkedIn, you just need to click on this link. And then to see all your LinkedIn contacts, you need to open the file connections.csv. So let's click on it. So this is all my LinkedIn contacts in a CSV file, so it's perfect. But now on top, you see that I don't have much information. For example, I have the first name, last name, the LinkedIn URL. Here I have the email address, but the main problem is that I don't have that much email address because most people don't want to share their email address publicly. Then you have the company, position, and connected on. So when you export your LinkedIn contacts with this option, you have two problems. The first one is that the data is not clean. So for example, for the first name, last name, and company name, you will have some emojis or problems with capital letters. So for example, here I have someone with the famous rocket emoji. And this is a big problem because when you are in your favorite outreach tool and you want to say hi first name as a variable, you don't want to have hi Vincent with a rocket emoji like this, but instead you want a clean data like this. So when you use this option, make sure that you clean the data. And the second problem you will face when you use this option to export your LinkedIn contact is that here you have just a few emails, but you don't have that much. So that's why if you want to have the emails of your LinkedIn contacts, you need to use an email finder tool like Give Me Leads. So you can go on givemeleads.io and you can create a free account. Then once you've created your account, you go here on Enrich contacts, upload CSV. Then you need to map the first name with first name, last name, and company name with company. And finally, we click on Enrich. All right, so the enrichment is done. So let's click on Download CSV. So here is my new file with at the end the emails of my leads. And this time you see that we have much more emails. So it's perfect if you want to send a cold email to your LinkedIn contacts. Now, the second option you have is to use the LinkedIn free search. So for that, you go here and you click on My Network. Then you click on Connection. And here you click on Search with Filters. And now here you have the list of all the people in your LinkedIn network. Now, with this option, what you can do is to add some filters. So for that, you click on All Filters. And here on the right, you can apply some more filters. So for example, the locations, current company, and actually you have much more filters that you can use. And here, for example, you can say that you only want people who are CEO or head of sales in your LinkedIn network. Now, if you want to export these people, you need to use a tool like Phantom Buster. So if you want to try Phantom Buster for free and get the best free trial available, you have a link in the description. Then once you've created your account, and I hope that you've used the link in the description, you will be on this page. Now here on this page, you click on Browse Phantoms. Then on the left, you click on LinkedIn. And what we want to do is to scrape a LinkedIn search. So basically, we want to scrape these people who are in my first 3 connections on LinkedIn. So I click on use now. Then I click on next. Here I can give a name for my search. So LinkedIn contacts. And now what we need to do is to paste the LinkedIn search URL. So for that, I go back on this search. I copy, paste, and then I click on launch. And now you see that the scrapping is currently running. So once you've exported your LinkedIn contacts using Phantom Buster, you will have a file like this one with the first name, last name, you have the location, and you have the company name. Now, when you use this option, so when you scrape a LinkedIn free search, you have two problems. The first problem you have is that you can't export more than 100 contacts per day. So it's a big problem if you have like 2,000 or 3,000 LinkedIn contacts. And the second problem you have is that you don't have the emails of your LinkedIn contacts. And if you want to have the emails of your LinkedIn contacts, what you need to do is to use an email finder tool like Give Me Leads, for example. So if you want to try this tool, you can click the first link in the description. Then once you are on this page, you click on Start for Free. And here you can create your free account. And then once you've created your account, if you want to find the emails of your leads, you need to go here on Enrich Contacts. And here you click on this button, Upload CSV. Then we have to map some fields. So first name with first name, last name, company name with company, and company domain. So unfortunately, we don't have that when we scrape leads using Phantom Buster. And then we click on Enrich. All right, so the enrichment is done. So let's click on Download CSV. And this time, if I scroll, at the end, I have the emails of my leads. So here you see the column email. And here we have an error code for missing company. So here, for example, you see that we don't have the company, so we can't find the emails. Finally, the last option you have is to use a LinkedIn Sales Navigator to export your LinkedIn contacts. So for that, let's go back on my computer. So this is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's a LinkedIn paid plan, but you have a 30-day free trial. And in my opinion, it's the best way to export your LinkedIn contact, because what you can do is to add some more features to identify decision makers in your LinkedIn contacts. So if you want to have the list of all your LinkedIn contacts, very easy, you click here on connection, and then you select first degree connections. And then on the right, you have all the people in your LinkedIn network. Now, if you want to identify interesting leads in your LinkedIn network, I recommend you 3 features. The first one is company headcount. For example, let's say that you want to target SMBs, so from 11 to 200 people. Then the next filter I recommend to use is current job title. So let's say CEO and founder. And finally, you have this filter, geography. And here you can say that you want to target, for example, people based in the US. So United States include. And this time you see that I have 38 results. And by doing that, I make sure that I only target people who are interesting leads in my LinkedIn network. Now, quick tip, if you have here more than 2,500 results, what you need to do is to split your search. And so for that, what you can do is to add a filter, for example, years in current company. And here you can select, for example, less than a year and 1 to 2 years. And here, make sure that you have always less than 2,500 leads. Then once you want to export these people from a LinkedIn Sales Navigator into a CSV file, it's the same. You can't do that natively with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and you can easily export your leads in one click using Give Me Leads. And so for that, you just need to create an account on Give Me Leads. Then you need to install the Give Me Leads Chrome extension, and then you will see this button, Extract Leads. So once you're happy with the search, you can click here on Extract Leads. Here you can give the number of people you want to export, And just below, you can say that you want the emails of your leads. And finally, all you need to do is to click here on Export Leads. And now you see the export is currently running. So it's LinkedIn contacts. And now I just need to wait a little bit. All right, so the export is done. So let's click on Download CSV. So this is my LinkedIn contacts. And I have much more information because I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So of course, I have the first name, last name, LinkedIn URL, and the emails of my LinkedIn contacts. So here you see the column email, but I have the job title, location, if the LinkedIn account is premium or not, the headline, summary, and actually I have much more information like the company name, company website. So this one is very important when you want to find more emails, company location, company industry, and so on. And now when you export your leads from a LinkedIn Sales Navigator with Give Me Leads, you have a clean data. So for example, for the first name, last name, and company name, you don't have any problems with emojis in the first name or with capital letters. So this is how you can export your LinkedIn contacts with their emails. Now, if you want to try Give Me Leads to export your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator or to get the emails of your LinkedIn contacts, you can go on givemeleads.io or you have a link in the description. And now that you have access to your LinkedIn contact, you might want to send some LinkedIn messages or cold emails. And if you want to see how to send LinkedIn messages and cold emails in the same sequence, I've made a complete tutorial on that. So if you want to check this video, you can click somewhere on the screen. It was Vincent. I wish you a nice day and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.